Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football tips for Saturday, the 2nd of August. Well, I'm whispering because I'm sat outside at 7:45 in the morning. Hopefully the sound is okay. Well, I've had a bit of a go. I ain't got a clue how much I've put on. It's not crazy, but it's a fair amount. Um, I've had a 5p each way Goliath. I've then selected my biggest fancy of my day, of the day, not my day, of the day, and I've put two big prices with it. Then I've also put two strong fancied horses at shorter prices with it, all in competitive races. But yeah, I do like the racing today. It's to fair, it's not great, but some of the races are right down my alley, right up my alley, right down my alley. Anyway, my alley. Um, so Goodwood. I did mention in the previous video, even though it was a shocking day, that I thought the draw bias would change. I said that they would keep going over to the well, sorry, I didn't say that. I said they had been going over to the high numbers side on the straight course, but then I think it would get very churned up and they would avoid it. And as the ground dried out, they would avoid that section. While I also think they'll avoid that section today. So I think high numbers are a bad idea. I think the ground is churned up. I think it's dried, and I think it could be very awkward underfoot. I think the high numbers. You've got you've probably got holes in the ground where the horses have been, where a lot of horses have been. Not so much yesterday, but the day before, and now that ground is now dried out. So I'm thinking it will be low numbers. I know they headed towards there yesterday, but the ground is just getting quicker. So I think it will be low numbers. Worst case scenario, middle numbers. But I've gone for generally low numbers. Well, I say generally numbers. I've gone for a horse with a low-ish number. It's drawn 7, but I've also had a forecast and tricast with horses drawn around it. Drawn around it. Sorry, it's very early in the morning. Drawn around it for forecast and tricast purposes. Um, the horse has got course and distance form. The horse goes on any ground, and the interesting thing is for this horse in the Stewards Cup is the fact that I think when they want it to improve on its next run, they tend to switch the headgear. And you will have all heard of this horse before. You've probably all backed this horse at some point. So let's get into it. So I'm going to go down in order, then you'll see which one I'm talking about. So the first selection in the 5p each way Goliath is Aeronautic. This is in the 155 at Goodwood, and it's 5 places. Trained by Joseph O'Brien, it ran an absolute cracker at Royal Ascot, but I think the ground was way too quick for it. The ground should be, in my opinion, it will be good at Goodwood. It's currently good to soft apparently, but I don't believe that for a second. To go from heavy to good to soft in what was it, a day or a day and a half, and then all of a sudden it's going to stay at good to soft. It's going to be much quicker. I can't see there being a good to firm in it, but it'll be good all over, I think. So Aeronautic, the good ground will be absolutely fine. It ran a cracker. It's not been beaten far in both its runs, but I just think that it will appreciate the ground more, and it was actually in decent form before the decent Ascot run. So sorry, I've just got birds flying above. I'm just wondering what they're up to. I don't know if there's some kind of bird of prey knocking around. Anyway, Aeronautic, I do really. That's probably my most obvious strong fancy on the form for today. So the nap of the day, which sounds a bit ironic when I've just been so complimentary about the previous horse, is Comanche Falls. I think this has got a crazy chance. The problem is, and I apologise for this, I put the bet on last night. Apparently, I don't believe this for 1 second, it was 66 to 1 with Sky Bet. Not so sure about that. And I shall show you why. Yeah, well, I shall show you what they're claiming. They're claiming it was, yeah, look, 66s, 50s, 33 20s. I've never seen 66s, and I was looking at these, I think it was 20 past 5. They hadn't even decided what extra place races they were doing. So the fact that it's gone from 66s to 20s, nah, I don't buy it. I got 33s. I don't know if you want to shop around. You'll probably get a better price somewhere else, but it's currently 20s. I think if you leave it to SP, it might even be bigger than 20s come race time. I don't know. So anyway, Comanche Falls. It's in the 5 past 3 at Goodwood. It's the Coral Stewards Cup. So as you're well aware, they did go to the. I don't even know what side it was. I think it was classed as the far side. It's the low numbers side at Goodwood. So they all went over there. I think they'll probably go over there again. If they do, we've got a decent chance because we're drawn 7. They're paying out. I think it's first 7 they're paying out on. So straight away it might eliminate half the field. So we might have. I'm not sure exactly how many runners there is. So was it 25, something like that? Let's say there's 25. Split that into half. You've got 12. Let's say 13 runners. Then basically, our horse is. It needs to come in the first 7 of 13 runners. It's not as easy as that, but it's got basically a 50% strike, 50% chance of coming in the top half of half of the field. If I'm making things complicated, I just think a course and distance winner, a dual Stewards Cup winner. Don't get me wrong, it's 8 years old, but it's plummeted in the handicap. I think it's got a great chance. The funny thing is, I'd actually had a dream last night that it won. Sorry, I don't know if it won or not. It was in a photo, and then the dream ended. But I can't find the horse who it was in the photo with. So that's how bonkers it sounds. Yeah, there is no horse that it was in the photo with. So I don't know what's going off there. But yeah, I had a dream it was in the photo. Whether it won or not, I don't know. But at least we got us each way terms. Anyway. The next selection is Bayrat in the 3:25 at Thirsk. So this horse, it ran well from not a fantastic draw at York last time. It ran in the jump jockeys sprint race, and it came from behind where a lot of them raced prominently. I do remember one of the decent race analysts after the race saying, I think it's one to keep an eye on. I haven't kept an eye on it for that reason. I've kept an eye on it because it did catch my eye that day. You know, I'm a big fan of draw biases. We get some wrong, but generally we're not too far away. We've got the York one down to a T. I think it's just I need to try and pick the right horse. And then we've got the Redcar one, which unfortunately I didn't have a chance the other day to look at Redcar. But normally it's far side at Redcar low numbers. Anytime there's anything where it says in places, normally best off going to the far side because the boggy ground is down the middle and definitely towards the near side. And at York, I know I'm going off topic, at York, when there's been rain and the ground is, when the ground's drying, you're better off middle to low numbers, but edging towards low numbers. Anyway, Bayrat, it ran well from not a great draw last time, and I think it's in decent form, or it's heading towards decent form. Consolidation, 8-1, 3:45 Goodwood. I'm not going to get too much into this one. I know it's Ralph Beckett's. He's got 2 in the race. He's got one for this Wathnon Racing. I think it's Wathnon Racing. And another one of his owners. I just think this one's got a decent chance. As always, take a good look for yourself. And the next selection is 22-1 Raja King in the 4 o'clock at Newmarket. I think this one's trained by Stuart Williams. It's also ridden by Marco Gianni again. It's not a great horse. I can't remember why I picked it, to be fair. Have a look for yourself. Do not back it blind. But I think it's got a little bit of Newmarket form. I don't think it's winning form. I just think it's ran okay at Newmarket in the past. Maybe its most recent run, I think. I just don't think it should be 22-1. So take a look for yourself. Bosch at 11-1 in the 5 past 4 at Thirsk. Take a look for yourself because I can't remember. Tommy's Son at 10-1 in the 4:55 at Goodwood. I believe it won the Goodwood Golden Mile or something like that. It's a handicap, and my opinion is it's been set up for this race. It's very well handicapped, and I think David Minoussier is a very good trainer around here. Can't remember the jockeys. I think it's William Buick, but obviously they're all decent jockeys. Let's be honest. There's only the odd one that you scratch your head with, but I think it's got an obvious chance. And this one, I think this one is a bit of a dark horse. 13-2 doesn't sound like a dark horse price, but I shall tell you about it. Hurstwood in the 550 at Thirsk. Hurstwood was in decent form, but its most recent run was disappointing. But the reason for that most recent run is it was a 5-runner race, which makes no difference, but 4 of them wanted to make the pace. I think this one attempted to make the pace, but 3 of the other horses, press leader, another one press leader, and another one very similar. And the horse that won it was Tim Easterby's horse, held up last place. So I think there was a contested lead, and the all just blew up. I'm hoping Hurstwood is decent when it's in front. I'm just hoping it can go straight to the front at Thirsk and not get caught, or be unpestered, should I say, so it runs its race. So, what's this then? Right, this is another bet where I've included. So this is the most. I've put this bet on. It's a 30 pence each way painting and a 40 pence each way treble. Comes to a fiver. So these are the most obvious horses, like obvious chances. So I'm not going to get into it too much. Well, I'm not going to get into it. Aeronautic in the 155 at Goodwood. Comanche Falls, which is the each way nap of the day, in the 3:05 at Goodwood. And Hurstwood in the 550 at Thirsk. So I've gone for a bit of a bonkers bet now. That's to say that they can see the each way painting. Right, I'm going to keep going down in order. So as you're well aware, I normally have a football bet. Well, I've had a football bet because it's the start of the football season, or part of it. So what I've had, what I've had is I've had a £10 over 2.5. It used to be a treble, but it's a double now. Why? Because I've been so frustrated over one team letting me down. One team with a 0-0, with a 0-0. So I've gone for 2 teams. So you can guarantee that one team will let me down now. So it's a £10 over 2.5 goal double. I've gone for Burton Albion versus Mansfield and Huddersfield versus Leyton Orient. The interesting thing about Leyton Orient is during their pre-season there's been loads of goals, which doesn't mean too much. It just means the ball's been in the back of net quite a lot of times. In both nets, theirs and their opponents. Means nothing really, but Huddersfield are one of the fancied teams for promotion. I am going to have a anti-post bet. I'm going to have probably good luck tonight after about 5 cans of cider, so don't follow me. The Burton Albion match in Mansfield, I know some of you that like the football, it could be interesting. I know I'm probably talking like opposite to what I've had, but they're normally tight affairs. I looked at the head-to-head with Gary Bowyer and Nigel Clough, and it tends to favour draws. I think Nigel Clough's won one against Gary Bowyer. This isn't Burton versus Mansfield. This isn't Nigel Clough and Gary Bowyer as managers of these 2 clubs head to head. This is career head to heads. So Nigel Clough won 1, drawn 3, lost 2, and obviously Gary Bowyer's the other way round. Gary Bowyer won 2 against Nigel Clough, drawn 3, lost 1. Bit of a siding towards draws, and also apparently it's more siding towards draws for the teams. So I haven't actually had a draw because I don't like betting draws, but just for those of you that do, it might be interesting. But it's a £10 over 2.5 goal double, makes £33. Then I've had a £5 over 3.5 goal double, makes nearly 50 quid. That bet does for a fiver. So let me get on to. I didn't even know I'd had that bet. I put this on last night apparently. £5 each way on Comanche Falls at 33-1 makes 200 quid. Crikey. Then I had a free bet, and I've also put that on Comanche Falls, £1 each way, Comanche Falls. Right, I've had the most interesting bet will be last by the looks of it, but I've had a 10 pence combination tricast and I think it's a 33 pence combination forecast, but these are the selections. So what I will say is, it's very interesting the fact that I don't think I've actually backed any of his now, but Paul Mulrennan was racing at Musselburgh last night. I think his last race was like 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, and now he's at Goodwood for 3 rides, and one of them might even be a non-runner. Have a look for yourself what they are, 'cause I can't remember. One of his horses or mounts ran yesterday. It doesn't mean it's going to be a non-runner, but it could be. So his mount in the Stewards Cup is Jordan Electrics, and that has also got a low draw. It's not in good enough form for me, and I think, put this in your notebooks, I think Jordan Electrics could well be one for the Air whatever cups it gets into. It probably gets into the Air Gold Cup now, because it's rose massively up the ratings. Quite rightly, because it's been in good form for a number of years now. I think it's rose from like 50 or 60 something to, what is it, about 90 something now, I think. Might be wrong. But anyway, let's get into this TriCast and forecast. Normally best off having exactors, but it's harder to get them on now because of where to put them on, apart from Toe, but I can't stand the side. So I've gone for Comanche Falls, Jordan Electrics, Vadream, because it likes slower ground. It might not be that slow, but who knows? Hammer the Hammer and Purasang. Well, Hammer the Hammer and Purasang are first and second favourites, but they are drawn low. But I wouldn't want to discount them just because of the prices, because if we can get a 33 to 1 and 40s first and second, and one of these can sneak in for third place, then I'm quite happy to do that. So we're nearly there. Right, this could be a really interesting bet. It's the same stake as the other painting I've had. 30p each way painting, 40p each way treble. So I've gone for Comanche Falls again. I've left the price in this one. It's in the 3:05 at Goodwood. Right, let me just show you both of them. There's two horses that have apparently been backed already on Sky Bet. I've not had them for that reason. I actually looked at the race and then looked at the price when I was looking at the race, went to Sky Bet, and they've both been hammered. So that's why I've left them both to SP. They've done absolutely nothing, but conditions favour them a little bit more today than they have done in the past. Or they might come on for the run. So I'm probably going to get confused between the two. So I'm not going to go into either of them. But what I will say is they are both potentially better than what they are rated. But they are realistically, they've only got a chance of sneaking into a place at the very best. I don't expect them to win, but one's 12s, and I think the other one's about 14s. Honestly, they should be 20s and 40s, so they might still be that come race day, because they've shown nothing apart from the odd glimpse, and I think conditions could make it so they could actually put their best foot forward and hopefully run a place. Hopefully they win, but let's be realistic. When I had this Goliath, I know somebody put in the comments, what if you reach the house maximum? Realistically, I'm not going to, ever. I've never actually had a lucky 15 up or 4 win. I've had 3 loads of times, but never all 4. Oh, Charlie, you don't know what you're talking about then. Well, we've all had one of them. Well done, but I haven't. I've had 3 loads of times, but not 4. I've had a lucky 63 each way, or every single one of them placed. But yeah, I've had a Goliath. Is it a Goliath? No, I had 8 selections in 1 day. 8 selections in 1 day, 7 of them placed, all at decent prices. It's just that they were mixed up in different bets. I did that for the channel, but I'm not looking for that bet now anyway. Anyway, all I'm saying is these two horses should be much bigger than what they actually are, and they've got a better chance than what they've been given, or yeah, given credit for. So I wish you the very best of luck. If you can like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.